Hello, my friends, and welcome to Kurt Berglund's Baseball World. Today, we are continuing the APBA vintage season, which is a season that I have developed using original APBA cards from the 60s and 50s and playing them off. And this season is going to take a long time, but I'm having a great time with it. I love the vintage APBA cards from really any time, but especially the 50s and 60s. And I'm trying to grow a collection, but yikes. All right. We are to game 2 in the season between these two particular clubs. Game 1 was a 1969 Washington Senators. They're the visitors in this series. The home team is the 1966 Cleveland Indians. In Game 1, the Senators defeated the Indians 9-3. It was Dick Bosman over Sam McDowell. Just love, the names. Fantastic era for baseball. Today, first starts for both of these pitchers. It's right-hander Joe Coleman going for the visiting Washington Senators and right-hander Sonny Siebert going for the homestanding Cleveland Indians. And, of course, this is Cleveland Municipal the cavernous Cleveland Municipal Stadium. Doing this one today, in just a few days coming up, will be a game between the 1969 Mets and the 1965 San Francisco Giants, which will be game 2 of their series as well. I'm going to be doing a string of these over the next several weeks, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I enjoy bringing them to you. All right, so we are using the vintage boards. We're using the vintage sacrifice and hit and run booklet, and we're ready to go. It's the Senators, the best Senators team of this era, and Ted Williams, of course, this is his first season as manager, and it's the 1966 Cleveland Indians. They finished, the 69 Senators won 87 games. The 66 Indians won 81 games. Their manager, the Senators manager, was Ted Williams. The Cleveland manager, Joe Adcock. All right, let's get to today's starting lineups. For the visiting 69 Senators, Del Unser leads off in center field. Ed Brinkman bats second at shortstop. Frank Howard bats third. He'll be in left field. Mike Epstein bats fourth. He'll play first base. Ken McMullen bats fifth. He's at third. Lee May bats sixth. He's in left field. Bernie Allen bats seventh. He'll play second base today. Paul Casanova bats eighth. He'll catch. And on the mound, it's Joe Coleman. He's a B-grade pitcher with a Y modifier. The Washington Senators in this game have 36 defense points. That makes them a fielding 2. All right, for the homestanding Cleveland Indians, Vic Davalillo leads off in center field. Max Alvis bats second at third base. Leon Wagner, Daddy Wags, bats third. He'll be in left. Rocky Colavito bats fourth. He'll be in right field. Fred Whitfield bats fifth. He's at first base. Joe Askew bats sixth. He is the catcher. Pedro Gonzalez will bat seventh and play second base. And Larry Brown will bat eighth and play shortstop. On the mound, it's hard-throwing Sonny Siebert. He's a B-grade pitcher with YZ modifiers. The 66 Cleveland Indians have 36 defensive points today, and that makes them a fielding 2. Unser steps in the batter's box against Sonny Siebert, and here we go. Unser takes a crack at that first pitch and bounces it to Pedro Gonzalez at second base. He throws to Fred Whitfield, and there's one away in the top of the first. Eddie Brinkman comes up now, and Siebert kicks and deals to Brinkman. It's hit in the air to center. Vic Davalillo into right center a few steps, but he's got room. and puts it away for out number 2. Hondo, Frank Howard coming to the plate now with nobody on. Siebert winds and delivers to Hondo, and that's ball 4. So the Senators have their first base runner with 2 outs in the first inning. And here comes Mike Epstein. Siebert, the stretch. And the delivery to Mike Epstein. Hi, struck him out, and that will end the Senators' first inning. We have no scores. We go to the bottom of the first. Joe Coleman going to deal against Vic Davalillo, Max Alvis, and Leon Wagner in the Indians' first inning. Joe Coleman winds and delivers, and it's hit in the air to right. Lee May back a few steps, but he's got plenty of room, and there's one down in the Indians' first. Max Alvis comes to the plate. I like to hit him second. I know he didn't hit that high very often in real life, but he works for me here. The pitch from Coleman to Alvis is a hanger. Alvis takes a whack at that one, and it is going to be down the left field line, and Frank Howard has to go dig it out of the corner. Alvis around first. He's going to cruise into second with a 1-out double, and it'll bring up Daddy Wags and a chance to put the Indians in front. Coleman, the stretch. The pitch to Wagner is drilled to right center, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Running it down is Del Unser. Around third is Max Alvis. He's going to score. It's 1-0 Indians. And Wagner gets a double. It's back-to-back doubles for Cleveland. And they are up in this ball game. They strike first. Coleman the stretch, and the delivery to Rocky Colavito is bounced to first. Gloved by Epstein. He's going to take it to the bag unassisted for out number 2. Advancing to third is Leon Wagner with 2 outs, and it'll bring up Fred Whitfield. And if he can come through with a clutch base hit, the Indians are going to double their lead. Coleman the stretch, and the pitch to Whitfield, or as they call him in 1966, Wingy. Whitfield grounds this one to third. It's gloved by McMullen to his left. He plants and throws to Mike Epstein for out number 3. But in the first inning, the Indians get a run on back-to-back doubles. We go to the second. It's Cleveland 1 and Washington 0. McMullen, May, and Bernie Allen coming up in the Senators' second inning. And Sonny Siebert winds and deals to Ken McMullen, and that's ball 4. The second walk of the game for Siebert. Brings up Lee May. Indians looking for a double play grounder. Siebert the stretch, and the pitch to Lee May is a comebacker, gloved by Siebert. He knocks it down, picks it up. His only play is at first. And they get Lee May as Ken McMullen moves to second base with 1 out. Bernie Allen comes to the plate. Siebert the stretch, and the pitch to the Senators' second baseman is strike 3 looking. He got him on a bender and just about broke his front leg. 2 down now, and it'll bring up Paul Casanova. Joe Coleman would be next. Siebert the stretch, and the pitch to Cassie. Hey, struck him out with the baked beans. Sonny Siebert bringing the gas. After 2, it's the Indians 1 and the Senators 0. It's going to be Askew, Gonzalez, and Brown. 6, 7, 8 coming in the Indians order in the bottom of the second. Coleman kicks and deals to Joe Askew. He hits it to left. Over by the foul line, it's Lee May, and he's got it for out number 1. Pedro Gonzalez coming up. Coleman winds and delivers. Hit to left, dying quail. Lee May coming on, and he's got it again for out number 2. Larry Brown, not the old Redskin running back, but the Cleveland Indians shortstop. Sonny Siebert would be next, the pitch from Coleman. Ground ball hit to Ed Brinkman. He cuts it off from going up the middle, plants and throws to Mike Epstein for out number 3. We've played 2, and it's the Indians 1 and the Senators nothing. Coleman against Siebert, locked up in a good one. Coleman's going to lead off this inning, and then it'll be back to the top of the Senators' order with Unser and Brinkman. 9-1-2 coming for Ted Williams in the third. Siebert kicks and deals. And this one is hit on the ground to Max Alvis at third. He gloves it by the third base bag and fires across the diamond to Fred Whitfield for out number 1. Del Unser now. Siebert winds and deals to Del Unser. Ground ball hit to Pedro Gonzalez. He gloves it to his left and throws to Fred Whitfield for out number 2. Ed Brinkman comes to the plate. He flew out to center his first time up. Siebert winds and deals to Brinkman, and it's a ground ball to Larry Brown. He charges hard, throws on the run, and they get Brinkman at first base. That'll end the Senators' third inning, 3 up and 3 down. Sonny Siebert has not allowed any base hits yet. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Game 2 of our season. Love it. Love the fonts. I love the whole thing about the old APBA cards. Sonny Siebert's going to lead off this inning, and then he'll be followed by Davalillo and Alvis for the Indians. Coleman winds and delivers to Sonny Siebert. And it's a jam job comebacker to Joel Coleman. He throws to Mike Epstein, and there's 1 out in the Cleveland third. Vic Davalillo coming up. He's 0 for 1. And Davalillo with a base hit to left field. Drops in front of Hondo Frank Howard. He throws it back in. There's 1 on and 1 out for the Indians in the third. Let's see if Joe Adcock wants to put a play on here, and I have a feeling he does. All right, here's our hit and run chart. We're going to get Vic Davalillo moving. Joe Coleman, the stretch and the delivery. It's a line drive headed toward right field. Davalillo was off with the pitch, and Lee May in right field, like I said before, he was in left. He's in right. He makes the catch. Davalillo's got to scramble back to first. Lee May throws toward Epstein at first, and they double up. Vic Davalillo, it's a 9-3 double play, and it'll end the Indians' third inning. We go to the fourth, and it's 1-0 Cleveland. They sent the runner. They got Vic Davalillo moving, but the fly out on a line to Lee May in right field caused the double play. 1-0. We're in the top of the fourth. Frank Howard comes to the plate. Siebert winds and delivers to Hondo, and he drives it over first base down into the right field corner. Rocky Colavito's got to go get it. Howard will lumber into second base, and a leadoff double is the first hit of the game for the Senators here in the fourth. Epstein comes to the plate. Siebert the stretch, and the pitch to Epstein is to right and deep. Back goes Colavito, warning track, wall, and it's gone. A 2-1 Senators lead on a 2-run home run by Mike Epstein, and Ted Williams is clapping in the Senators dugout. Brings up Ken McMullen. Siebert winds and deals to McMullen, and that is taken for a strike. Next delivery from Siebert is hit on the ground to Larry Brown. He's up with it and throws to Whitfield at first. 1 down in the fourth. Senators 2, Indians 1 in this one. We're in the top of the fourth. Siebert winds and deals. It's hit to left. Dying Quail coming on is Leon Wagner, and he's got it for out number 2. Bernie Allen struck out in the second inning. Siebert winds and delivers to him. And this one is hit to Max Alvis at third. He gloves it and throws to Whitfield, and that will retire the Senators in inning number 4. But they get 2 on 2 hits. And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, it's Washington 2, Cleveland 1. Senators handled the Indians very, very well on opening day. It was a 9-3 Senators win. Indians trying to get even today. It's Wagner, Colavito, and Whitfield, lefty, righty, lefty, against Joe Coleman in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch to Daddy Wags is to center and deep. Del Unser back, warning track, wall, and gone, and we're tied at 2. Daddy Wags with both RBIs in this game. Rocky Colavito comes to the plate now. Coleman kicks and deals to Colavito. He hits it to left. Back goes Howard in front of the track. He's got it for out number 1. We have a 2-2 game here in the bottom of the 4th. It's ballet time at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. Coleman winds and delivers to Whitfield. And Whitfield drives this one over first base down into the corner. Past Epstein into the right field corner. Lee May has to get it. And there is the potential go-ahead run for Cleveland at second base with a double. Joe Askew now. The stretch by Coleman and the pitch to the Indians catcher is going to be hit to short. To his left is Brinkman. He gloves it, fires to Epstein. They get Askew at first by 14 steps. Whitfield on the play advances to third, and the lead run is now 90 feet away, but there's 2 outs for Pedro Gonzalez. Coleman the stretch and the delivery to Gonzalez is a line drive caught by a leaping Ken McMullen, and that'll end the Indians' 4th inning, but they get a run on a home run by Leon Wagner. And we go to the 5th. It's ballet time. We got a 2-2 game coming up for Washington in the top of the 5th against Sonny Siebert will be Paul Casanova, Joe Coleman, and Del Unser. It's 8-9-1 for the Senators coming in the top of the 5th. Siebert winds and deals to Casanova. And it's a ground ball to Max Alvis at third base. He fires to Whitfield for out number 1 in the 5th. Joe Coleman is up. Del Unser's on deck. The delivery from Siebert to Unser is a comebacker to Sonny Siebert. He takes a couple steps toward Fred Whitfield, and there's 2 away in the 5th. Del Unser comes up now. He's 0 for 2. Ed Brinkman would be next. The pitch to Unser is hit in the air to center, high but not deep. Under it is Vic Davalillo, and he puts it away for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway through this one, and we've decided nothing. It's the Senators 2 and the Indians 2. Don't forget to check out channel membership on my channel. The link is in the description for this video. You get discounts on the secondary store, access to members-only exclusive videos, and a free gift from me every month if you are a member. All right. Larry Brown, Sonny Siebert, Vic Davalillo on the bottom of the 5th. Coleman winds and deals. Ball 4 to Larry Brown. It'll bring up Siebert. And I think we all know what's coming here. Get out our sacrifice booklet from 1906. Actually, this one's holding together pretty well. Coleman the stretch. The pitch to Siebert. He squares and lays it down toward Ken McMullen. McMullen's up with it. fires to first where Bernie Allen is covering, and that will move Larry Brown to second base. With one out, it'll be Vic Davalillo with a chance to put the Indians in front if he can just drive a base hit through this infield. Coleman the stretch, and the delivery to Davalillo is hit to right. Lee May, one more time, is going to make the catch, not deep enough for Brown to advance. And so he holds on at second, and now it's Max Alvis at the plate with Leon Wagner, who would be next, in the on-deck circle. Coleman the stretch and the pitch to Alvis is a comebacker, gloved by Coleman. He turns and throws to Mike Epstein, and that retires Cleveland in the fifth. We go to the sixth. We've decided nothing. It's the Senators 2 and the Indians 2. All right, here's Eddie Brinkman against Sonny Siebert. He's 0 for 2. The pitch by Siebert is hit on the ground to Max Alvis. He gloves it to his left, plants, and throws to Fred Whitfield for out number 1 in the sixth. Frank Howard is 1 for 1. He's walked, he's doubled, he's scored a run. Mike Epstein on deck. The pitch from Siebert. Ground ball to short. Larry Brown from the hole fires, and they get Howard by 14 steps at first base. There's 2 away for Epstein, who's caused all of the damage for the Senators' offensive attack here today. He hit a 2-run homer in the fourth to account for their scoring. Siebert winds and delivers to Epstein, and he draws a walk. Senators with a 2-out base runner in the top of the sixth brings up Ken McMullen, who's 0 for 1. Lee May would be next. Siebert the stretch and the delivery. Struck out McMullen on a bender, and that will retire the side with Sonny Siebert's 4th strikeout. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Senators 2, Indians 2. And the meat of the Cleveland Indians order is coming up in the bottom of the sixth. It's Wagner, Colavito, and Whitfield. Daddy Wags is 2 for 2. The pitch is hit to right. Gonna drive Lee May back, and he's got it for out number 1. Rocky Colavito is 0 for 2. The delivery from Joe Coleman is a hanger to Colavito, and he drills it into the right center field gap. Gonna one-hop the wall. Colavito around first with a 1-out double, and it brings up Whitfield, who doubled himself back in the 4th inning. So with 1 out, the Indians have the go-ahead run in scoring position. Coleman the stretch and the delivery to Whitfield, and struck him out, and he got him with the high cheese. That's Joe Coleman's first strikeout, and it came at a good time for the Senators. There's 2 outs now, and Askew comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Colavito still at second. Coleman the stretch, and the delivery to Joe Askew is bounced to first. Mike Epstein gloves it to his right. He's going to feed Joe Coleman covering, and that's going to end the Cleveland 6th. We go to the 7th inning with your score, Washington 2 and Cleveland 2. Lee May, Bernie Allen, and Paul Casanova, the 6, 7, 8 hitters for Ted Williams, coming to the plate here in the top of the 7th. Siebert's only allowed 2 hits, but they were back-to-back, and one of them was a home run, so that accounts for the Washington scoring. Coleman, on the other hand, has allowed 6 hits, but they've both allowed the same number of runs, so here we are. Siebert winds and deals to Lee May, and that's ball 4 to May, brings up Bernie Allen. Bernie is 0 for 2. Paul Casanova's on deck. The Indians are looking for a double play grounder. The pitch to Bernie Allen is a comeback or a hot shot off of Sonny Siebert. He knocks it down, picks it up. His only play is to first, to Fred Whitfield, and that retires Bernie Allen Lee May moves to second base now, and Paul Casanova comes to the plate. Joe Coleman is on deck. Casanova, 0 for 2. The pitch from Siebert. Hit in the air to left. Coming on is Leon Wagner. He's got it for out number 2. Joe Coleman is 0 for 2. And he comes up with 2 outs here, and Lee May at second base. Siebert the stretch. The pitch to Coleman. Hey, struck him out on the baked beans. Gas. It's time to stretch him out in Cleveland. With your score, the Senators 2 and the Indians 2. Bottom third of the Indians order coming here in the bottom of the 7th. Pedro Gonzalez, Larry Brown, and Sonny Siebert. Coleman kicks and deals to Gonzalez. He hits it to left. Dying Quail. Look at Hondo coming on. Frank Howard makes the running catch for out number 1. Larry Brown is 0 for 1. Coleman kicks and delivers. Brown swings and bounces it to Ed Brinkman at short. He's up with it and throws to Mike Epstein for out number 2. Sonny Siebert is 0 for 1. He has also successfully bunted in this game. Coleman kicks and deals to Siebert. And hey, struck him out. Turnabout's fair play. Siebert goes down on strikes, and that will end the Indians' 7th. We go to the 8th. It's the Senators 2 and the Indians 2. We had a good pitching matchup here, a pitcher's duel in this one. Top of the order coming for Washington in the 8th. Ted Williams imploring his troops for a run. Unser, Brinkman, and Howard for the Senators in the 8th. They are a collective 1 for 8 in this ball game against Sonny Siebert. Vic Davalio's not pitching, don't worry. Vic Davalio pitching. Okay, here's Siebert. The pitch to Unser is a base hit to center field. Drops in front of the aforementioned Vic Davalio. And that'll bring up Brinkman. And what do we want to do here? The problem is if you have Brinkman bunt, that opens up first base. Might take the bat out of Howard's hands, but Epstein's pretty good hitter too, so we're going to try the bunt. Siebert the stretch, the pitch to Brinkman. He squares to bunt, and he gets it down. It's bunted to Max Alvis at third. He fires to Gonzalez covering, and the sacrifice does move Del Unser up to second base with 1 out, and here's Frank Howard. Now the Indians have to decide what they're going to do about Howard here. Who do they want to pitch to? Indians bullpen is going to get going. It's left-hander Bob Allen and right-hander Louis Tiant throwing for the Indians. It's lefty-righty double-barreled action, just the way Joe Adcock likes it whenever he's near the lake. I'm talking about Erie, people. It can get mighty chilly. Chilly, baby. All right, here is Howard. They're going to pitch to him. The stretch by Siebert and the pitch to Howard, and that's ball 4, one of those intentional jobs, and it'll bring up Epstein. Ken McMullen on deck. 2 on, 1 out for Washington. Siebert the stretch. The pitch is ball 2 to Mike Epstein. Next delivery is swung on by Epstein. And it's a comebacker to Siebert off the heel of his glove. Rolls toward Max Alvis, but Max does not have a play. It's going to be an E1 on Sonny Siebert, and the bases are dripping with Senators. Here comes Ken McMullen. Well, now what do you do? Tiant is ready, and I think they're going to go to him. So that'll be it for Siebert today. The infield is going to move in for the Indians. Louis Tiant was, boy, he had a lot of jobs on this staff in 66. He had some starts, about a dozen starts. He was used extensively in relief. So I'm starting him out in the bullpen. But he may not last long there. McMullen is at the plate. There's one out. Tiant in relief is a B-grade pitcher with XZ modifiers. The infield is in. Sonny Siebert went 7 1/3 innings. He allowed 3 hits. He walked 4 men. He struck out 5, and he allowed 2 runs. They're both earned so far. But 3 more men on base are his responsibility. McMullen is up. He is 0 for 2. Lee May is on deck. Infield is in for Cleveland. We're in the top of the 8th, and the score is tied at 2. The pitch to McMullen is hit in the air to left. Leon Wagner is under it. Tagging is Unser. Wagner makes the catch. His throw is coming home, and it's going to be late as Unser streaks across home plate. It's 3-2 Washington. Holding at second is Howard. Holding at first is Epstein. And now Lee May comes to the plate with 2 outs. Tiant's trying to stop the bleeding. Lee May is 0 for 2. The stretch from Tiant and the delivery to May is a chopper on the infield. Off Tiant's glove, rolling toward Gonzalez, but Pedro has no play. It's an infield hit for Lee May. And the bases are loaded again, this time for Bernie Allen. Bernie is 0 for 3. Infield at normal depth, though, because there's 2 outs. Paul Casanova would be next. Tiant the stretch, and the delivery to Bernie Allen is a comebacker to Louis. He grabs this one and throws to Whitfield for the putout. Out of all that, the Senators get 1 run. It's not earned on 2 hits and take the lead. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Washington 3 and Cleveland 2. We got a good one at Cleveland today. It'll be the top of the order coming for the Indians in the 8th inning. It's Davalillo, Alvis, and Wagner. In the bullpen, Darryl Knowles and Denny Higgins. Lefty-righty double-barreled action. Just the way Ted Williams likes it, pretty much wherever he goes. All right, Davalillo, 1 for 3. Coleman kicks and deals to him. Hey, struck him out. That's strikeout number 3 for the right-hander, the big right-hander for Washington. And the Senators are 5 outs away now from winning game 2. Alvis is 1 for 3. Wagner is on deck. Coleman winds and deals to Max Alvis, and it's hit to second. And it's through Bernie Allen's legs into right field. And E4, Alvis is aboard, and here's the go-ahead run. Leon Wagner, he's got all the Indians' RBIs in today's game. I'm going to give Coleman one more batter. Coleman, the stretch, the pitch to Daddy Wags. His hit, no, he struck him out. 4th strikeout for Coleman. He's getting his groove on, and it brings up Colavito, so Ted Williams is going to stick with him. Colavito 1 for 3. Fred Whitfield would be next. The stretch by Coleman and the delivery to the Rock is bounced to second. Bernie Allen gloves it, throws to Epstein, and that's going to retire the Indians in the 8th. We go to the 9th with your score. Washington 3 and Cleveland 2. Louis Tiant is going to come out for his first full inning of work. He will face Casanova, Coleman, and Unser 8-9-1 in Ted Williams' order, and we're going to see if Ted is going to give Joe Coleman a chance to get the complete game. Tiant winds and deals to the Senator catcher. He hits it in the air to right. Rocky Colavito coming on, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Del Unser. Nope. Joe Coleman. They're going to let him go for it. Going to let him try for that complete game victory. Coleman's 0 for 3. The pitch from Tiant. Hey, struck him out. First strikeout for Louie. 2 gone in the 9th, and now it's Del Unser at the top of the Senators' order. He's 1 for 4. Scored the go-ahead run just last inning. Tiant winds and delivers, and that's ball 4. Coming up is Ed Brinkman. They want to get Brinkman here because they do not want Frank Howard to come to bat again. Unless, of course, we go to extra innings. Tiant the stretch and the pitch to Brinkman. And this one is a comebacker to Tiant. He gloves it, throws to Whitfield at first, and that will retire Washington in the 9th. 1 base runner, nothing across. We go to the bottom of the 9th with your score. Washington 3, Cleveland 2. Been a good game here in the APBA vintage season. In the 9th for Cleveland, it's going to be Whitfield, Askew, and Gonzalez, or maybe Joe Adcock will go to his bench. But Whitfield, Askew, and Gonzalez are scheduled. They are the 5, 6, 7 batters. Coleman winds and delivers to Whitfield, and he drills it to right center and deep. Gonna be off the wall, bouncing toward Unser. Around first is Whitfield. He goes into second with a leadoff double, and that's going to do it for Joe Coleman. Ted Williams bounces out of the dugout, and that's going to be the end of Coleman's day. Joe Coleman goes 8+ innings, allows 7 hits. He walks 1 and strikes out 4. He allows 2 runs. They're both earned. Whitfield at second is his responsibility. Changes coming now for Cleveland. How do they want to do this? Well, first, we're going to get a new Washington pitcher, and it's going to be Darryl Knowles. He is on to pitch the bottom of the 9th and try and earn the save. He's a left-hander. He's an A-grade pitcher with a Y modifier. So Askew is going to bat, but we're going to get a runner at second base for Whitfield, and it's going to be Jim Landis, the old White Sox center fielder. Runs for Whitfield and increases the speed exponentially of the Cleveland base runners. All right, so Landis at second. Now, do you have Askew bunt? I'm going to say no to that question and let him swing away. Knowles going from the stretch. The pitch to Joe Askew is hit in the air to left. Frank Howard is going to make the catch. Holding at second is Landis, and there's 1 out. Pedro Gonzalez is up now. And Chico Simone. No, it's going to be Chuck Hinton to bat for Gonzalez. Gonzalez has an 0 for 3 collar going. So Hinton is going to bat for Gonzalez and try and deliver that run here in the bottom of the 9th. Knowles the stretch, and the delivery to Chuck Hinton is going to be hit to first. Knocked down by Epstein. He picks it up and beats Hinton to the bag unassisted. For out number 2, advancing to third is Landis, but there are now 2 outs. Larry Brown is due, and he's not going to bat. Coming out of the dugout to bat for Larry Brown is Chico Simone. Louis Tiant is coming out of the dugout. No, he's not. They just called him back into the dugout. Should Simone reach, the pinch hitter is going to be Del Crandall. But Simone, at the moment, is the last chance saloon for the Indians. 3-2 Washington, tying run at third. Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. Knowles the stretch. The delivery to Simone, and it's hitting the air to left. Back goes Hondo, and he's got it for out number 3, and the Senators win the ball game. Let's give you the totals. Ooh, we had a good one. For the visiting and victorious Washington Senators, 3 runs on 4 base hits, and they committed 1 error. For Cleveland, 2 runs on 2, 4, 6, 7 hits. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 7 hits. And Cleveland committed 1 error, and it was a bad one. It led to the winning run. The winning pitcher is Joe Coleman. He is 1-0 on the young season. Sonny Siebert takes the loss. He is 0-1. The save goes to Darryl Knowles. It is his first. Thank you for being with me. More APBA Vintage Season Baseball coming soon. It'll be the 69 Mets and the 65 Cardinals. The link for channel membership is in the description for this video. Thank you for being with me. Have a wonderful evening. So long, everybody.